Hello, welcome back to Golden Keys Life Coaching. Um, so I'm sitting out here enjoying this beautiful sun on this beautiful Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers. I am a single mother, and it is a pet peeve of mine for people to wish me happy Father's Day. I am not a man, I'm not a dad. Yes, I do most of this by myself. However, please do not wish me happy Father's Day. Like, I can't stand that. That is like the dumbest thing ever. But anywho, so happy Father's Day. If you are a father biologically or raising other children, you are a father. If you are a mentor, anything like that, happy Father's Day to you. So, the law of attraction. How do you create the life that you want? How do you create your heaven here on earth? I used to be, a churchgoer many years ago. I was raised in the church. I say that a lot in my videos. I'm a preacher's kid. But it's like it got to a point in my life where I was like, wait a minute, why I gotta die? Why do I have to die before I see goodness? There's something about this ain't right. You know what I'm saying? So um I just started kind of, looking into some things about myself and my upbringing, what I was taught growing up, what I was taught in the church, and things like that. I studied theology for many, many, many years. I mean, many years. And the conclusion I came to was tradition does not equal correctness. Okay. I heard Ricky Smiley say that, and it just warmed my heart so much when I heard him say that. Because I listened to his radio show on the way to work sometimes, and so he was like, we got to get out of that. Tradition does not equal being right, and it doesn't. And that was it. That was the epiphany that I had, for myself. And I said, I gotta. It's about the way we're thinking. It has something to do the difference in the choices we make, okay? Because everything is about choices. People that are successful, people that are not so successful, people that are stagnant. The difference is the choices that we've made. I tell my daughter that a lot. I think about people I went to high school with, those that are very successful, those that are just whatever. The only difference between all of us was the choices that we made. Regardless of the households we were brought up in, the choices we made is what set our lives on the courses that it went on, right? And so, how do you make good choices? How do you make not so good choices? Up here, it's your thinking. So I had to challenge my own thinking and figure out, what am I doing that my life is just in this repetitive cycle? What is going on? You know what I'm saying? And so that is what brought me to the law of attraction. Some people, religious communities, seem to think that, the law of attraction is demonic, and it has nothing to do with that. The law of attraction is about your mind, how you think, okay? And thinking for yourself. So when someone says, you got to get your mind right, that's true. And I'm about to explain what I've understood that to really mean now, okay? And so I got to get a little scientific to give you like a simple explanation. So let's just go back to basic science for a second. Go back to school for a minute in human anatomy of the brain. So the left side of your brain, because I'm about to just jump right into this. The left side of your brain is where your logical thinking is, your analytical thinking, linear thinking is. It's considered the masculine side of the brain. Okay. Control, discipline. A lot of that comes out of the left hemisphere of your brain. The right, and it's the masculine side. On the right side of your hemisphere of your brain is the more feminine side. So this is where your creativity is, your nurturing side, your care, your compassion, and a lot intuitiveness, things like that. Your loving nature, things, stuff like that. So what happens is, what I learned, because I realized how my mind wasn't right, it was out of balance. Okay, what I learned is the goal to attracting the life that you want for yourself is balancing those two hemispheres. Okay, And so when you learn to balance those two hemispheres in your own mind, okay, your own thinking, you become that supreme human that you were born to be, okay? And when you bring those two things in balance, you have no choice but to be completely aligned, all right? And so what happens is when we're too much in our left hemisphere of our brain, that's male or female, okay? When we're too much in the logical, analytical, that, that side of our brains, the masculine energy, it kind of takes over the executive functions of the entire brain. And we become very selfish, controlling, domineering, just tyrannical. What's another word? Inflexible, you know. So, we're unwilling to learn, when we become when we let our right side of our brains dominate our thinking, okay, then the executive function turns, it kind of actually, your personality becomes like that. It turns your personality into being very naive, sometimes too trusting. You may give out more love to others than yourself, okay? You may have too much compassion in a way where it's unbalanced to the point that you're being taken advantage of. You become too submissive in certain situations where you're not empowered enough, to make certain decisions. You're just too passive and things like that. So literally, if you allow that imbalance to take over your mind, your personality becomes that, and you become very dysfunctional and unbalanced. And the goodness of the universe, everything is balanced, as above, so below, okay? And so every cause has an effect. And so you cannot attract, these good things you're thinking about, you cannot attract that to you, okay? You have to be able to work with both, in order to, if you're too domineering on your right and on your feminine side of your brain, and you have all this creativity, but you have no self-control and discipline, which comes from the left side of your brain, okay, you're just going to be very stagnant. You're just going to have all these creative ideas flowing and nothing's actually popping off. You're not going to get anywhere, okay? And so if you are too much in your left hemisphere of your brain, your masculine energy, then you become too controlling of others around you and yourself to even be creative. You can't even tap into your potential. You don't even know what you're supposed to be doing because you're too busy controlling others, or you're too selfish to open yourself up to love and compassion to other people so that you can receive the same thing. And then you wonder, some people wonder why isn't nothing work for me? Everybody's so against me, because you created that. You created everybody to be against you because your mind is not right. It's out of balance, okay? So all the goodness, the things that you truly want, you it's like a constant push and pull in your own mind. And you literally, you put yourself in a cycle where you start doing the same things over and over and over, and you literally make yourself insane, okay? Some people like to blame other people. Oh, they make me, they don't. No. You on your own nerves. You are actually making yourself insane, okay? And then you become very delusional, okay? You think that you're creating one thing when you're actually creating none of those sorts, okay? So what it means to get your mind right is balance. Everything is about balance, okay? When you learn to balance your feminine and your masculine energy, balance your masculine thinking and your feminine thinking, it's like a whole new world opens up. And I'm definitely a living witness to that. I feel like a lot of part of my life, I was too much in my masculine thinking, okay? And so, I wasn't creating, I just wasn't opening myself up to my gifts, the love that I have, even for myself. Like, I didn't have self-love because I didn't the feminine aspect of my mind was closed off, okay? And sometimes this has to do with our upbringing as well, okay? When you don't grow up in a household with two healthy parents, because you can have two parents and they may not be healthy, okay? I'm gonna say healthy household of two parents that did not nurture your mind like that, and on both aspects, you grow up like that, you know. And so then it becomes up to you to teach yourself to reverse the effects of what was done to you in your childhood. You know, no, it's not fair, but ultimately now it's your responsibility, right? And so I chose to take responsibility for that. Okay. I had a parent, she was very, you know, controlling and domineering because she had to do everything herself. And, you know, things happened to her in her childhood where she, you know, femininity was looked at as a dangerous thing, you know, beauty was looked at as a dangerous thing. And so she raised me accordingly. Um, and no shade to mom, but it's like that's all she knew to do, you know. So I had to take it upon myself to teach myself something different and recognize like, this is off. This is not supposed to be like this. My life is not supposed to look like this. And so when I did that, I was able to turn my thinking around, the way I see things, you know. Even your feminine side of your brain helps you see the bigger picture. Okay. When you're very masculine in your thinking, you don't see the bigger picture either. So it kind of interrupts your intuition as well. So you don't make good choices. Okay. So I chose to take responsibility for that. And I'm very proud of myself of how far I've come and creating the life that I want. You know, I just wanted some simplicity, you know, just simple. You know, I'm a very simple person. I like nice things, but I'm simple with it. And I created that for myself. And so, and then when you get to one level, you bump it up another level, you know. And so it's just my goal to help others, you know, come out of this dysfunctional way of thinking. Help people understand it's not the people around you, it's you. Okay, your environment, your situation, whatever you're living, it's a direct reflection of you. Okay. And if you're not doing so well right now, that's okay too, because you're probably supposed to be right there. Okay, there's some people you might need to meet, you might need to come across, you know, in your down times, that is going to have an impact on your purpose later. You know, I'm a homeowner. I love it, you know, and technically there's really, you know, actually, I don't even like that word. Homeowner, you don't own nothing. The bank owns it. But I remember living in a homeless shelter before. You know, I was in a women's shelter some years ago. I lived in the projects some years ago for quite some time. And I remember just kind of looking around like, what is the common theme with every, you know how sometimes you just feel like I'm supposed to have more than this. I'm supposed to be more than this. Something ain't adding up. So I'm looking around in my environment. I'm like, what's the common denominator? It's how we're thinking. So you got to, if you want to get out of here, you got to change your thinking. And so that's what I did. And so, you know, I want to just help and talk to some people out there. If you're in a situation that you do not want to be in, you know, you don't have the money you want to have, you don't have your business is not doing as well as you want it, I'll challenge you to pay attention to your thinking. You know, think about your left hemisphere of your brain. Think about the right hemisphere of your brain. That's self-care. Think about your masculine energy. Think about your feminine energy. Define that. What is masculine energy? What does that even mean? What is feminine energy? What does that even mean? Challenge yourself to figure these things out. Okay. What were you taught growing up? Okay. That may have helped you before, but maybe it's no longer serving you. You know what I'm saying? It does not serve a purpose in your life anymore. You know what I mean? And challenge yourself to be brave and come out of that. You know, try something different. Is it scary? Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. However, you just got to do some things afraid. Okay. If you've been down in your life, I remember I used to tell myself, man, if I could be down like this and this can happen to me, hey, if this flops, I'll be all right because I done been through worse. You know what I'm saying? You got to kind of be brave like that. You gotta be okay being disliked by people, because when you come out from the herd, people are not gonna like that. Okay, so you gotta, you know, work on your self-worth, your self-love, and things like that. And, you know, just pay attention to your thinking. Get your mind right so you can create the life that you want. Once you are able to balance your thinking, your masculine thinking and your feminine thinking, If you've closed off to one or the other, allow that to come through. You know what I'm saying? If you're very masculine and you're thinking, allow yourself to feel sometimes. Allow yourself to feel love. It's okay. Allow the feelings that you suppress to come through, because that's your feminine energy. If you have been in your feminine energy a lot, challenge yourself to be strong. Be brave. Start. A lot of people that are imbalanced and they're in their feminine energy, they have a hard time saying no. So I encourage you to start there. Practice saying no without an explanation. That is one of the most empowering things ever, and that can really get you on your way to pulling out the masculine energy and being more logical and analytical. Does this make sense? If I do this, does this make sense? If I go this place, if I go with this person, does this even make sense? You know what I'm saying? And you won't be so naive all the time. You know, I had a issue with being too loving at some point, and now, yes, yeah, none of that. You know what I'm saying? But it's like when you balance those things, your intuition really kicks in, and you'll know who to trust and who you can't trust, and you know how far to let certain people go, you know, with their shenanigans and all that. But you know, just that's how you get your mind right. Balance your thinking. Figure out where your thinking is out of balance. And I promise you, you're going to be able to match the area of your life that's out of balance with that same thing. Okay? And that's the law of attraction. Once you do that, you don't have to chase a lot of things anymore. I learned that. Like once I felt like I was truly in balance, things just start coming to me. You know what I'm saying? Like I work hard. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. Okay? But I don't have to like struggle for a lot of things I used to, because I'm aligned. My mind is aligned. You know what I'm saying? And so I can bring in those things with just a simple thought. You know what I'm saying? Thought with the action. For those that are, you know, in the religious community, faith without works is dead. I put the work in behind my visions and my thoughts, and it comes a little easier as long as I remain balanced. Okay? Temperance. Okay, as soon as my thinking, my mind gets out of balance, then everything else is going to start to get out of balance too. Okay, so the simple way to understand the law of attraction, how to create the life that you want, is fix your thinking. Fix how you see yourself, fix how you see those around you, and take responsibility for the life that's around you. It's more than likely it's not everybody else's fault. It's yours. Okay? And be okay with it being your fault, and be your own hero. You know what I'm saying? Be your own Messiah. Nobody's coming to save you but you. Then nobody come save me. I had to save myself. You know, and everybody is capable of doing it. Every single person is capable of doing it. You know, when you balance your left and your right brain, your masculine and feminine thinking, when you're balanced in your thinking, you become extremely intelligent. There's like this superhuman that emerges within you, and you become very powerful. You really do. The mind is very, very powerful. And the level of intelligence that you gain is just, it's out of this world. I really can't explain it. You just have to do it to experience it. And of course, you're going to continue to learn things. I read a lot of books. I study a lot. I watch a lot of documentaries, things like that. You know, everybody's not into those things, but I don't allow my mind to be distracted with a lot of things. So that's another thing. While you're trying to balance your thinking, you must eliminate distractions. You know what I'm saying? You have to see things for what it is. See it as a distraction. You know, you have to recognize it as a distraction. And once you recognize it as such, take action out of self-love to do what you need to do with that distraction so you can stay on track, okay? Cut it off, take a break from it, whatever. Social media is a big one. I do social media, but then again, I don't, because it is very distracting. Okay. So when you're on social media all the time, you're so focused on what everybody else is doing in their life, you can't focus on yourself. You can't focus on living your own dreams and living your life according to your path. You're too busy trying to get on other people's path and try to match what they're doing, and then you put yourself further out of balance in your mind, Um excuse me, and it causes anxiety, it causes depression, and a lot of what you see on social media is not real. You can take one picture and create so many perceptions out of it. Okay. And perception is not reality. Perception is just the filter that we put on reality. Okay. Because everybody has their own perception of one thing. It's your own personal filter that you place over reality. And so it can put you in a very dark place. And, when you love yourself, you want to feel good. When your mind is right, your mind wants to feel good. Your mind doesn't want to feel, challenged. I mean, depressed, not challenged, but it doesn't want to feel depressed and defeated and down and scared. And your mind doesn't want to feel like that. And so why would you participate in things that cause you to feel that way unless you are addicted to trauma? Okay, that's a whole nother video. So, take responsibility to create the life that you want to live, that you feel like you deserve. Get your mind right. Pay attention to your thinking. Change your thinking. Be willing to walk away from certain traditions that do not serve you anymore. Just because it's still serving these people don't mean it's serving you, Focus. Love yourself. The love that you have for your children, the love that you have for your significant other, your spouse, the love that you pour into your friends, the love that you take, that same feeling. I want you to sit there and feel that love. And then I want you to take that feeling and turn it inward. Okay? Flip it around and put that into you. Okay? And you don't have no choice but to make your mind healthy. It is a beautiful thing to wake up in your right mind. You hear me? And I'm not speaking of anybody who may have any mental challenges that are disabled, because I have an autistic son, but he wakes up in his right mind every day because that's how he was created, and I love it. But y'all know what I'm talking about. It's a beautiful thing to wake up in your right mind. And when you wake up in your right mind, it's like life is limitless. And nothing is completely impossible. You know what I'm saying? Nothing is completely impossible. Like, you will be able to do things that you never thought you could do. I'm a living witness. All I can really do is, I'm an action person. I'm a doer. I'm not a big talker. I'm a doer. And so sometimes it's hard for me to explain. It's just like, I just want you to try it. Just do it so you can see what I'm saying. You don't have to feel some type of way. You're going to feel good about yourself. You don't have to focus on what everybody else is doing. And when you do focus on everybody, what other people are doing, you're focusing on it for the sake of helping them. You know what I'm saying? And just, even like just the twin flame concept. And this is just my own personal take on twin flames. Okay. I'm not saying this is correct. I don't know. Oh, I was trying to figure out what that man was doing. So I don't know. But I truly, I don't know. I feel like the twin flame, at one point I did think that it was another person. And it's possible. But real talk, I feel like your twin flame is yourself. Okay? When you can finally bring the masculine aspects of your soul in alignment with the feminine aspect of your soul, and you're able to equally align those and become balanced, to me, that is a twin flame reunion. You come back into union with self. Okay? Now, another person, as far as like a romantic partnership, I feel like those are soulmates. Your soul recognizes my soul, whether it be for, the greater good, the uplifting of our life, this lifetime now, or we recognize each other's soul from a previous lifetime. I just feel like these are soulmates. Okay. Some of them are meant to stay. Some of them are not meant to stay. They come in, they teach us lessons, and then it's over with, right? So I truly feel like the twin flame is you. When you can balance your masculine and your feminine energy together in a beautiful blend, and then you start attracting and creating the life that you want for yourself, that's it. You know what I'm saying? Anybody else that comes along outside of you is just the cherry on top. They're not the whole cup of ice cream. You're the whole cup of ice cream. This love relationship or this partner, whatever, is just a cherry on top. But I truly feel like the twin flame journey is the journey back to balancing of self, balancing your yin and your yang energy. But everybody got their own opinion on what twin flames are. So I wanted to see, was there anything, let me think. So consciousness. So when you are able to balance, your masculine energy, your feminine energy, the left side of your brain, right side of your brain, left side of your thinking, right side of your thinking, when those are finally in harmony and balance with one another, you reach consciousness, a supernatural level of consciousness that is out of this world. You will gain an understanding of people, things, and situations that you never thought that you would understand before. Like, it's amazing. It's like the same dynamic when two individuals come together. There's always power in unity, right? When two people come together for a common greater good, like, it's powerful. It's a beautiful thing. Imagine that same coming together within yourself. You become a very powerful being. You become very intuitive. It's like you stay 10, 20 steps ahead of people. Opportunities come to you. It's a beautiful thing. You become unstoppable, unshakable. And it's just all about the mental. It's all about the mental. And you're able to let go, and just like what the guy J. Cole said, just love yours. You feel me? Just love yours. And you're gonna love it because you created it. You know what I'm saying? And then, when you're balanced like that, it's like, I don't know, you become unstoppable. It's a beautiful feeling. It's crazy. Like, sometimes I can't even, it's awesome. But when you do that, you become your greatest competition. When you start loving yourself, you love others. When your cup is full, you have more to pour into others. And so you want to love others. You want to help others. You don't want to hurt anybody. And so you don't want to compete with anybody, because you realize when you become that superhuman, you don't compare. There's no competition where you can't compete, where you don't compare. You compete with yourself. You start trying to figure out, okay, now I did this, I accomplished this, I got us here, I did this for me and my kids. I finished school, I got this job, or I got my business started, or I moved here. I finally left that relationship, or I got this paid off, whatever it is, so then you start trying to challenge yourself to do more. Like, okay, so now that I got this done, now what we want to do? Like, it becomes addictive, co-creating with the universe. Like, it's fun. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to have people trying to stop you and bring you down. But that's a part of it, because it keeps you humble. It keeps that fight. You know what I'm saying? It keeps that fight in you. So don't worry about that. You good. But it's like, it's when you see yourself creating like that, and you actually see it in front of your face, it's fucking amazing. That's all I can say. This shit is fucking amazing, And everybody has a capability to do it. Every single person can do it. Everybody can do it. A lot of times with women, when our masculine energy is turned off and we're only in our feminine aspect, and that whole executive function is completely taken over, our creativity comes out in having a bunch of babies. We create life on top of life on top of life. And people that like big families, hey, that's not, no shade to you, big ups to you. I feel like I have a big family. I have 4 children, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, why do you keep having all these babies after babies, but then and you're not, it's not making sense because you're struggling. You can't afford them. Let me tell you why. Because that part of you, you're innately created to create. You want to nurture, you want to create. Your feminine aspect of your brain is telling you, we got to create something. We need something to nurture. We need something to create. You know what I'm saying? So because your masculine side is closed off, okay, it's out of balance. You're not thinking logically. You don't have discipline. So you're not thinking like, okay, well, if I have another child, financially, this. If I have a child with this man, and I already see that he's not taking care of these kids, blase skip, you may come across that thought, but you're not able to stand on that logic firmly. Okay. And so you're out of balance. So you go with what I need to create. I want to create. I want to, even, when some women have relationships with men and they feel like, okay, well, if we have a baby, that'll glue us together, which is so wrong. That does not work. It's like you're trying to create a family. You're trying to create something. It's not the fact that you truly want that relationship or that person or that baby again or another baby after you just had one. It's your brain you're wanting to create. Okay, you're wanting to nurture something, but you don't have the logic open over here to redirect that creativity and that nurturing into something else that would make more sense. I hope that made sense. Okay. And so women tend to do that. They have a bunch of babies back to back, different fathers back to back. No judgment, because I got an ex-husband and 2 baby daddies. You feel me? But it's like you're out of balance. And so you create this life for yourself out of your out of balance thinking. And then you sit there like a victim, like, oh, this is so unfair, or you look at this woman over here that made different choices, whose mind is right. And then you upset with her because she only had maybe 2 kids, or she only had 1, or whatever. She chose not to have any just yet, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Maybe she didn't go through with the pregnancy because she knew this dude over here wasn't whatever. You feel what I'm saying? So, and men can do that too. When they're too much in their feminine, they go out here and they just make a bunch of babies. They just want to create. And they're, by right, they should be creating. That's the feminine energy makes you want to create. But that masculine part of their brain is not logical. It's not analyzing. Is this a woman that I want to be bothered with for the rest of my life? Is this woman even mentally sound to have my child? I'm not even financially stable. She just had a baby 2 years ago. Now I'm new with a new one. Is she about to have a baby? He's not thinking. He's not thinking. And so he's drowning himself in his own feminine energy. And it just becomes a big mess. And now he's looked at as this deadbeat. And he might be a deadbeat, or he may not actually be a deadbeat. It's just his mind is not right. And so now he's creating all this chaos. You feel what I'm saying? So that's one of the effects. And that can happen with jobs too. People that hop from job to job to job to job to job. They're trying to ground themselves. They're trying to analyze something without really using their creativity. You know what I'm saying? The goal in life is balance. Everything must be done within balance, period. Starting with your mental state, your thinking, okay? As above, so below, okay? What goes up must come down. Cause and effect. Balance. Balance is key. And it starts with your mind. I can understand how my life went certain ways because of the way I was thinking. And I didn't know that it was wrong because I was raised that way. You understand what I'm talking about? I didn't know. But I cared enough about my children to learn something different because I didn't want them to experience the same pattern. I wanted to break this pattern, okay? And I started with simple things. And I feel like I did. My children... Your children, they're not going to have to deal with certain things that you had to deal with coming up. And when you see that, that is a creation in itself. When you've created a life for your children that you knew nothing about, come on, y'all. That's some powerful shit. That is a beautiful thing. That means you did it. You fucking made it. You did it. That is the goal. Like when I look at my kids, they have the life I wished I had when I was their age. You know, when I look at my sons, my daughter, they're the kids that they're the you know, my oldest two sons, they're adults, they're young adults, but they're the adults that I wish I was when I was that age. Like when the things that they're doing, like I should have been doing that when I was your age. That's the kind of stuff I really wanted to do, but instead my mind wasn't right. I was out of balance, so I was creating babies. I was being a mother. I worked. I always worked, you know, and I always worked pretty good jobs for my age and stuff, but it wasn't fulfilling. I wasn't happy. You know, I got married very young at 19 because I was trying to create. You don't understand what I'm saying? Um, my daughter, she is, whew, wow. She is definitely the teenager that I always felt like I should have been. You know, my son, my youngest son, even, you know, with his autism, like how free he is in expressing himself. I that's the kid I wanted to be. You know, so when your mind is right, you start breaking patterns, and you don't do this stuff just for yourself. You do it for the ones that come after you. You do it for your children, your grandchildren, and whoever. Like having people in their right mind, you start a whole new generational legacy of thinkers. You start a generational legacy of creators, and it's amazing. It's a beautiful thing. It truly is. And you can break a lot of those toxic cycles that you were probably brought up with just by fixing your thinking. Just by fixing your thinking. And the things that they, you know, our ancestors and the ones before us, our parents or grandparents were taught, not to say that it was wrong, but it was probably what they needed to survive at that time. But life is different. This world is completely different now. And so what was needed to be done then to survive is not needed to be done now. Okay, especially not in this age of Aquarius. We have too much information now to run with some of these archaic ways of being. They're unnecessary and they're keeping us stuck. So, you know, love your past for what it was, but enjoy your present and look forward to your future. You feel me? Like it's a beautiful thing. I wake up excited. I do. I never thought I would get to that place, but I wake up excited like, damn, what can I do today? What can I create today? You know what I'm saying? If it's an easy day, okay, cool. I just created peace for myself. You feel me? Like it's a beautiful thing. You know, do I want to do this or do that? No. I'm going to use my logical thing. I'm going to use my masculine energy, and I'm going to do what makes sense right now. Okay? I'm not going to move out of my emotions and be super emotional with it, you know. And then there's times where I have to be emotional, like, okay, let's feel this. Let's go on and feel this. Let's call it for what it is. Just be vulnerable. Say how you feel. You know what I'm saying? That's how you talk to yourself. You're in balance, okay? So the law of attraction is simply getting your mind right. If you can just work on, you know, you don't have to sit and meditate and visualize and bring things. That's a part of it, but you got to get your mind right first. Balance your thinking. Balance your masculine and your feminine energy in your mind first. Then sit and do your visualizations and things like that. You know, you can have it as far as you can see it. I promise you. And then watch stuff just come to you. Come to you. And you have, when you're aligned within yourself, you have this infinite protection around you as well. So you're always going to have people that's not going to be happy for your transformation, and that's cool. That's okay. You know, just hope that they find their way. That's all you can really do. But just keep going. Don't let that, you know, don't let fear stop you. Fear is not even real. Fear is imaginary thoughts of things that may not actually even happen. Okay? You got to be fearless. You cannot care what people think. You have to deal with your approval addictions. But when you start balancing your feminine thinking, that's where you deal with that. When you deal with your masculine, you deal with that over there too. When you start becoming empowered to say no, when you become empowered to stand on your own and things like that, that masculine brain will help you get rid of that approval addiction to what people think and what people say and all that kind of stuff. It kind of helps that. I mean, think about most men. They don't. Most men don't give. They give no fucks. Like, they're a man. I'm gonna be a man. This is what I said. This is what I say. Go. There's a part of you that's like that. You have to get that in there. You understand what I'm saying? And then, you know, when you're in the presence of certain people, when you're in your right mind, you'll know which energy to pull from. You understand what I'm saying? And it actually harmonizes your relationships with others. Okay. Like if I'm, now that I'm aligned, when you're aligned, you're going to pick up when you're around a truly masculine man. Okay. Who's balanced. Okay. He is healed. He's balanced. And so you're going to automatically, your feminine energy will kick up more to create an equal harmony in that dynamic. Okay. If you're around a person of the same sex and they're more in their feminine energy, you're going to kick in your masculine and it's going to harmonize that relationship. You understand what I'm saying? And you're going to know when it's healthy masculinity or femininity, or when it's toxic femininity or masculinity. You're going to know when you are aligned, when you're aligned and well within your own mind, you're going to be able to tell the difference, because I promise you, your intuition does something on a whole nother level. When you're balanced in your thinking, you're going to know which is which. So that's it. Those are the keys I can best give you. Go ahead. I dare you. I dare you. Sit down and figure out what kind of life you want. What do you want to fix? And then I challenge you to go inside your own mind and figure out what part of your thinking, what's going on in your mind that's stopping you from having this. Don't blame no one outside of yourself. Don't blame the amount of money you have. I want you to just pay attention to what ways are you thinking? What thoughts do you have that's preventing you from having the life that you want? And just start there. If you don't know what masculine energy entails, look it up. Research it. Exercise your brain and learn something. If you don't understand what femininity truly means to you, look it up. Research it. You understand what I'm saying? Allow yourself to feel it. You can feel the difference. Like within your own body, you can feel the difference. You know what I'm saying? So I hope that helps someone. You know, being in balance, that's what true consciousness means. You are fully awake. You are fully aligned. To be the superhuman that you are meant to be. And so everything that's meant to be for you comes to you a lot easier. Okay. And you kind of save your youth as well. So, you know, when you're stressed out and angry all the time, or struggling and straggling, it ages you, depressed, and it ages you, you know. So you can actually slow the process of aging by getting your mind right. Okay. So I hope that helps someone. Y'all have a good Father's Day and take care until next time.